Since after the air attack from the US War Department, now many persons have been asking the question, how many terrorists were killed? Was there any casualty? Was there success in this mission that was being taken out? So now I want you to listen to the news updates on this. Arise TV took out its time to go out to the place in question in Sokoto. And here is the summary of what you need to know. Over to the Arise TV correspondent who is live in Sokoto, Nigeria.
We got in here, some hours ago, and of course, immediately we rushed to some of the sites. We're talking about the attacks. It did take place in two local governments in Sokoto State. We're talking about Tambowal and then Tangaza. Well, that which took place in Tambowal happened in Jabo, which we quickly rushed there, and of course, we saw for ourselves. Well, the good thing is that there was no casualty as regards the striker in Tamboa. Well, let's rewind and then let's indeed talk about those places. Now, from what we have gathered, well, the strikes were actually targeted at hideouts and trans routes. That which happened in Tamboa, there were no casualties. Well, it did strike, a farm. And so, quite early in the day, well, we saw some visuals, of some of the residents hurrying to the scene, and of course, they were able to get out some of the debris. And by the time we got there, we couldn't find the debris anymore. But from what we saw, it was just a dredge that has been created. And so, I can confirm to you, there were no casualties in Tamboa.
The airstrike happened in two places, which is Tangaza and Tamboa. So according to Arise TV correspondent, he said that there is no casualty in that of Tamboa. Moving on, let's also listen to other things he addressed.
And so you want to talk about targets being acquired and of course locked in and before the strikes were made. And for that which concerns Tangaza, well, yes, they say it is a known routes. It is a known trans route from Nigeria to Niger, and so it is a place where severally they've seen attacks, and of course severally residents have confirmed to seeing gunmen use those routes. And so that's exactly the reason why those two routes were chosen. And we know definitely, like President Trump said, that this is just the beginning.
Moving on, let's hear what he has to say about Tangaza.
Today we were able to get into Tangaza, and to be very precise, we visited some of the communities that are closest to the hideouts of the bandits, and I'm talking about Masalachi and then also Gudu. Well, we met a couple of people, or perhaps we met residents who were terrified, but this time around they're beginning to look a little more relaxed than they were, and that's because, well, they did confirm to us that some residents who were able to brave it and then went into the hideouts. Now, talking about the hideouts, just because I'm struggling with the names, Kawuri, Kedam, and then Milgam, they said some of the residents who were able to brace it and then went in there did see some casualties. And earlier on, before they were able to brave it in, well, they did see some of the terrorists fleeing on bikes. Well, some said 2, some said 3 on bikes, and the usual movement. And so that's exactly what's coming out from Gudu and from Masalashi, both of them in Tangaza. Well,
so for that of Tangaza, it is recorded that there are casualties, and because the airstrike was mainly on hideouts, so there are casualties. Secondly, there are records from the residents living around that place that most of them that survived this airstrike have already escaped, because Tangaza is a trans route leading to other countries, like the Niger and the rest. Let's hear his final notes on the situation there, because they took out time to interview residents around that place. So let's hear what he has to say in summary about that.
And we spoke to the residents of the community, which gauged their emotions, saw exactly how they felt. We realized that, yes, without a doubt, well, this was something positive. And I think right now the discussion should be how to continue and, of course, ensure that, yes, this is sustained.
In summary, we can say for a certainty that the whole projection, which was done by the US War Department, has yielded something. Because for a fact, even though we have no total figure of how many casualties, but the truth is that there is casualty when it comes to Tangaza. But secondly, which is the most important of all, is that fear has been installed in the hearts of these terrorists, especially those ones in Sokoto, for them to have decided to flee from their hideouts, moving out of Sokoto immediately as after this happened. It shows that it's it shows a good result from what has happened, and we hope to see more. Just like the Arise TV correspondent said, he said we should be talking about how to sustain this, meaning we should be talking about ways of making sure they don't come back and making sure that they don't continue the acts which they have been doing or carrying out. That will be all for now. When we get more updates concerning this, we will surely keep you posted. So, but for you to have an idea of what is going on, it is necessary that you subscribe to this channel and also turn on your notification bell, and please make sure to share this video out to other people. And there's already a video we made concerning the part 1 of this, which is posted on this channel in case you are lost, not knowing where or what is happening. All right, so let's know where you are watching us from in the comments. Bye, and see you in my next upload.